timing of it. So when you get your question, speak for at least 1 minute, but don't exceed 2.5 minutes. Okay, and he'll give you the prompt to kind of let you know where you're at in that process. Okay, so I wasn't looking at my screen. Did I get a volunteer? All right. Aaron's gonna jump straight in, man. You have inspired me today. So I'm going to, when I read this question today, Eric, I don't know why you came to mind, but you did. So I'm glad you volunteered. So I'm going to start you off with the first question, and that question is, sir, where is your life headed?
So can everybody hear me fine through this mic, or should I switch mics?
Yeah, great.
Did you mute yourself, Eric? I can't hear you.
Quite often. And as you change through life, you have kids, you have grandkids, you see those points of satisfaction change through your life. And you look to engage with those points of satisfaction. I like to think that I work hard to make the world a better place, and that's always been a point of satisfaction for me. I've learned recently that helping others to work hard and make the world a better place is also a point of satisfaction for me. And so working judiciously to get that done is important to me and helps me figure out where I'm going. At one point in my 20s, I probably felt like I needed to make a lot of money and retire early. But now as I'm getting closer to retirement, retirement actually scares me a lot. And it's not because I don't have enough money for it, which I probably don't, but it's because, I think there's a human need to have that feeling of usefulness, or at least for me, and to have something to wake up to do in the morning and feel like you're contributing to the world. And so I hope to be able to do that for many, many years to come, and don't use the somewhat arbitrary age of retirement hitting that. And so I think that's kind of generally what I think about when I think about where I'm heading. But so far, I've really enjoyed my time working for the Charlotte Water in the city of Charlotte. I love Charlotte. I'm a transplant. I've been here since 2007 and really enjoy it. So I hope to continue to make an impact here, city of Charlotte, Charlotte Water, and making Charlotte grow and grow well. And yeah, that's my plan. It's pretty general, but I'm happy about it. All right.
James, we can't hear you.
Eric got it started. Who's next? I see people biting their nails and everything. All right. All right. Thank you, Dana. Found one. What are your biggest goals for your life? How have your faults hindered them? So I'm going to say it again. What are the biggest goals for your life, and what progress have you made in attaining them? I'm sorry. Yes.
Oh, what progress?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I somehow skipped for the second half of one question. So let me make sure I get it right here. What are your biggest goals for life? What progress have you made in attaining them? That's better. Okay.
Okay. Oh, I'm echoing. Okay, no, I'm good. Okay, thank you. So the question was, what are my goals in life and what progress have I made in attaining that? Excellent, thank you. You know, it's funny because looking back, like in high school, middle school, high school, definite, and then even in my 20s, I really just kind of bounced along in life. I was very fortunate that in middle school and high school, we had drafting classes, drafting on the board. And I really enjoyed that. And so after I graduated, my first stint at university over in Knoxville did not go well because again, I was just kind of bouncing along in life. And so I flunked out of UT the first time. So I thought, all right, what do I want to do? And then I went back and I got a 2-year degree in drafting because that's what I enjoyed. So I'm very fortunate that there were some classes in middle school and high school that I actually enjoyed, and I recognized, all right, I can make a living on this, you know? So I guess early on, I don't think I really had a goal in life, to be honest with you. I just kind of, you know, you're taught, you know, you need to get a job, you need to make money, you need a job, you know, you need to find a career path. Okay. And fortunately, I was able to find that because I could recognize what I enjoyed doing and recognize that I can actually make a living at that. So, but where I am at now, it's interesting because so I think my goals now, because I am middle-aged now, and so I am more of okay, I know who I am and kind of where I want to be, you know, as I age, you know, not just now, you know, as I age. So I guess my goal is, you know, it's funny. I guess the goal, so actually the goal now is to have that work-life balance because I worked in private sector for 20 some odd years and there was no work-life balance then. But now that I work for the city, you know, now I'm another 20 years until the official retirement. But my goal, and the city of Charlotte is helping me, is to have a work-life balance because it's only 40 hours a week. So.
I appreciate that, Dana. And all of us, you know, I just don't necessarily set goals at an early age. You know, everybody has their own time frame, and sometimes we might feel it's a little late for doing stuff, or you know, as life goes on and you gain knowledge about other opportunities or other things become important to you, then that kind of helps either change goals or allows you to create them at that point. So thank you again for sharing that with us. Who would like to go next? All right. Thank you, Larry. So I think I'm going to give you the question that I was trying to give Dana pieces of. And that question is, how have your strengths helped you to succeed? And how have your faults hindered you?
Microphone now, please. Just unmute.
Working. Trying to turn the speaker back off. I don't know if that worked. Can you hear us online?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Fantastic. The question was, how have my strengths helped me and how have my faults?
How have your strengths helped you to succeed? How have your faults hindered?
Oh, right. Thank you, Mr. Table Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters, and to our guests online. To be judicious in my answer within 1 to 2.5 minutes, I will start with the strengths. it's taken a while for me to truly identify for myself what my strengths are, much like the conversation we were having about goals. Goals that are given to you, and then there's goals that you make. There are strengths that people see in you, and then there's the strengths that you recognize. One of my main strengths that I recognize about myself is that I'm very resilient. You know, I'm dogged in the chase. When I do have goals, a goal or multiple goals, I'm pushing it. I don't give up until it absolutely makes no sense, or I just lose all passion for it, but that's very rare. So persistence has been a great strength in me and has helped me through, as Dana was talking about, college. I flunked out the first time too, you know, and then I had to get back on the horse and get back in the game. It helped me with the Air Force, you know, the military, both active and reserve. It really helped that resilience helped me evolve the career path that I was on, because as you also said, there are careers that were available when I first graduated that are no longer available. And then there's careers that are available now that weren't available well into my 30s because the technology didn't exist or the operations didn't exist. Where my faults might have held me back, and I'll do the flip side of that same strength coin, is not knowing when to let go of something. There's been times where I've lost time, lost opportunity, you know, probably lost some money pursuing things that really didn't make as much sense to pursue anymore, or maybe it never really did make sense to pursue it. It was more of someone else spoke something into my life and I held on to it, even though that wasn't the thing that I needed for my life. Someone said, you're good at this, or all that. I was having a conversation, just to wrap it up, yesterday with one of my peers, and we were talking about coaching, mentoring, and sponsorship. And I was like, well, here's the thing. You got to make sure when you're particularly pursuing a mentor that you're not following you want to follow what your mentor says, as long as it aligns with where you're going. Your purpose and your goals are aligned to what that mentor is saying, not the mentor says you're good at this, so you just go do it. Very many of us do that same thing, and we might wind up a little astray from where we want to be. But that wasn't as judicious as I needed it to be, but that is the answer. Thank you.
Somebody calling me off.
I saw something.
Thank you, Larry. And I don't know, another thing I like about table topics is it gives an opportunity to learn about each other. And so I've learned something about both Dana and Larry. I would have never guessed that either one of y'all struggled in school. And, you know.
Literally, I showed up the next day and said, no.
So so I too did not finish when I initially went to school. Didn't have a good excuse for not finishing, and it had served as a sense of embarrassment for me most of my life, you know, until 2015 when I got the opportunity to go back to school. And so, you know, that has deeply affected me, being able to go back and being able to finish. And so it is a passion of mine at any opportunity that I get to tell my story and then to encourage somebody to go back and finish. And they got a nice little term they use for it now. At least they use it with me. They said stopped out. They didn't say drop out, flunked out. They said stopped out and everything. And you know, and I'm proud of the fact that, you know, I was able to tell my story at UNC Charlotte. If you Google James Williams on the UNC Charlotte website, comes up with my story and picture of me and the other 3 UNCC graduates in the house. 2 of them were yet to graduate when the picture was taken. And, you know, the first real speech I say that I did was in front of UNC administration at a conference in Winston-Salem, in which I was had not started Toastmasters at the time and, had this tremendous fear, but I was like, I've got to do it. I've got to do this. And I got to, push past this, this, and so there's a video circulating out there somewhere in the world that they use when they travel to other schools to try to implement programs like UNC Charlotte has for getting older students who have adult learners who have stopped out and everything to come back and finish. So that's a little bit about me. And so kind of giving some other folks an opportunity to get comfortable and to raise their hand, volunteer for table topics.
I
Any
can go
takers?
next.
Yes. Oh, wow. You don't know how excited that makes me. So
I'm
thank
very
you.
nervous.
All right,
Very
so I'm gonna need
nervous.
you, Miss Bobna, to turn on your mic so I can hear you. I saw
Are
you
you
wave
not
and
able to
smile, but I
hear
couldn't
me?
tell what words were coming out.
So I think
Okay,
my
not hearing you
microphone is,
yet.
no,
I just turned it on.
Or maybe my sound isn't on.
are you guys able to hear me?
Ah, yes, yes.
Okay,
Okay, it
okay.
wasn't you. I guess it was us. I'm sorry, my bad.
okay, that's fine. So I'm very nervous. I've never done this before. You ask me to talk about a technical topic, I'll do it. But something like this impromptu, it's very hard for me to say something. So I'll try my best.
All right, so I am really glad that you raised your hand, volunteered. So I'll be kind to you and will be gentle. So Bob, if you could, in 2.5 minutes or less, tell us briefly what you do and what do you like or what attracted you to your job.
Okay. Thank you, James, for that topic. I can do that. So again, I'm a planning group engineering division manager with Charlotte Water. I've been in this role for about 5 years now. I started in Charlotte Water 15 years ago as a engineering project coordinator and went through different steps in the organization, took a diversion few years back to stormwater as a project manager, trying to learn new areas, and then came back when the opportunity came as senior engineer and then moved up to the division manager role. So my role basically is to look at problems and issues related to customers, whether it is a capacity issue in the sanitary sewer pipe or capacity issues on the water distribution system, but also something like long-term planning. So I need to judicially decide what needs to go where at what time. So that's what excites me because I see the future for Charlotte Water. That's the exciting part for me, and I enjoy that long-term planning. That's it. Thank you.
Great job. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. So thinking about the question that I gave Bob, and it gave me another idea in which I think we're going to make a switch here, make it easy. I will see we've got 2 visitors that are not familiar to me. And so I would just like each one of you to introduce yourself and, tell us a little bit about yourself or what you do or whatever you care to share with us.
Okay. I guess I go first. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Angela Huey. I recently started with CMGC 2 weeks ago. I am a transfer from aviation department. Uh, just a little bit about myself. I'm North Carolina born and raised. North Carolina born and raised. I went to school in Greensboro and transferred to Charlotte, probably 2006, I would say. And now I'm a business system coordinator here in the city. I got into IT through a layoff with the Family Dollar Corporation. So all of my knowledge that I learned was pretty much hands-on. And that's kind of where it got me based, getting into customer service and being helpful to people was one of my strengths that I feel. I'm always want to make sure my customers are satisfied. So that's me in a nutshell.
Thank you.
Yeah. My name is Kavunda Patoke. I work for CDAT operations. And the reason I got to this point is that I was talking to Eric a little bit and Eric told me, hey, this is a club that you can train properly, you can meet a few friends and see where we go from there. That's how I ended up here, and I think that I belong here. My background is I was born in a country that didn't have the level of opportunity that we have here. And after I came up here, I struggled a little bit, got myself, worked a few jobs here and there, took myself to the school. And then I graduated from UNC Charlotte, with
Right.
engineering, mechanical engineering degree from there. And I've been working for CDAT since then. Before then, I was working for DOD. Then when I saw an opportunity for the city, I jumped on it. And I've been kind of myself, until I realized that, hey, I'm not an island. I need to kind of coordinate with a lot of people and see, hey, what are they doing that I'm not? And that's what I'm here.
Thank you both of you. So you said a country. What country would that be?
Kenya.
Kenya. Okay. All right. That's where our previous treasurer was from was Kenya, Tesha, right? Yes. So yeah, so good. We needed somebody else in our Kenya seat. So, all right. And you said you were native of North Carolina, but
Yes.
born or raised where?
Hamlin.
Hampton. Okay. All right. Little small town.
Yes.
All right. Good deal. All right. So I think that is probably the only time that we have for our table topic. So thank you all for your participation in that. And I am going to send it back to our Toastmaster of the day, and he will continue with the furtherance of our meeting today.
Hello again, Toastmasters. All right, with coming to the stage with no long speech, but I'll just give you a brief synopsis of who she is.
Good. Yeah, I don't know what to say. Then it makes sense. So
I want to introduce you to the Vice President of Membership, Miss Lorena Gomez. She will be giving a speech on how to make the network for you. A brief introduction. She will give suggestions for what to do at a networking event, how to work the room so that it's more comfortable to you, and get the most out of your event while you're there. So let's give a warm welcome to Miss Lorena Gomez.
Can everyone online hear me?
Yes.
Thank you for that. All right. So yes, this is a speech for popular demand. This isn't the only group that's asked me to do a speech on networking, as I'm always bouncing around different events. So what did I do? I didn't write a great introduction, but thank you for the little nuggets you threw in there. But I did look up some information on what's the typical way to do a networking.
Can you turn your background on so they?
Oh, is it on?
Yeah, you keep like disappearing.
Oh, yeah, sorry. They can stop us standards.
tilted forward, because if you step so far back that your head's like.
Hold up, I'll get this. It's been a minute since I've turned these off. All right. Let's see. Is this better? Or am I gonna blur out? Yeah, just,
There you go.
yeah,
You just,
beautiful.
you can tilt it, you know, it up forward a little bit, so when you step back, that you.
Yep, I got you.
Okay. Now.
I made myself a little taller today.
Yeah.
I did. But yes, and full disclosure, I do go out to job sites like this, so I am on a rooftop like this. It freaks all the men I work with out. Because they're like, don't get too close to the edge, you'll fall. And I said, no. Yes. So I'm used to being in all this getup. But yes, so like I said, I looked up tips. What do people suggest for networking events? As being out and in front of people came very natural to me, but I understand that a lot of times I'm around a lot of wallflowers. So I said, how can I help the wallflowers out? So I pulled up a list. The list was okay. It wasn't excellent. And then I decided to go through some of the tips. If you want to pull some of the standard tips I got, or if you want to take my version with a little more sauce, feel free to do so. And the first thing it gave was develop an elevator speech. So that is one thing I've never been good at, because every time I get an opportunity to say something about myself, I change it up. So I've never had a true elevator pitch. I do a pitch depending on the room. So if I'm at a construction event, I can be the face-fronting Mecklenburg County representative. I can be the informal compliance officer, or I can be the friend. I can be a part of the team, or I can be around project managers and feel at home. So I change it depending on what are the contractors that are there. So the first thing I say is don't be too rigid in an elevator pitch. Gauge and see who's going to be there. If you're going to be in a room with mostly millennials, get creative, because we like creativity and we have a very short attention span. So if you would like to bring business cards, which is also one of the tips, try and opt in for a paper business card for different age groups and a digital business card. People think that I don't want to carry cards because I don't usually have pockets, but it works better for certain individuals. So I'll share a business card with someone within my age range and they love it. They know what to do with it immediately. Or I'll pick other individuals to share my digital business card, and it gives me an opportunity to talk about how I got the business card out. Does it cost money? So it creates a conversation for me. So that's another tip that I would like to give to everyone. You can also set a precedent for a conversation. I've been in rooms where I have to talk to people that are in positions of power. Sometimes, believe it or not, I do get a little nervous. What's my trick to do so? I look at what they're wearing and I see, is there a connection to what they have? If you have a new Android, what do I know? Technology. I love technology. So I may approach you on your phone case. And that eases my nerves, but it also gives us something to talk about. Is that the new S22? And sometimes they may know or they may not know what phone they have. Oh, I don't know, my job gave this to me. Well, that's an excellent phone. Then I'm talking. Then we're talking about something they're holding in their hand that they carry with them. So the idea is to get people to carry something about me with them. So if I make a comment on a topic or an item that you have, sometimes it depends. I've given compliments to men and women, but sometimes for women, it's easier for us to bond over things like purses, makeup, clothes. So that's an easy way in to create something that you can feel comfortable in. Like Dana, I would come up to Dana at a networking event, and even though your sweater is great, but if I was nervous to talk to you, I'd say, Dana, I love your sweater. What kind of material is it? To get you talking about what you're wearing so that I become comfortable with you and I can hear even the way you say it. I think people overthink networking events, but a lot of times it's just to learn about the other person. A lot of my ways to build a connection with people is through, do you have coffee or water? Do you have tea? Because coffee and tea are things that I know a lot about. So I'll look at where they bought their coffee from and I'll offer something. Oh, did you know that the owners of Undercurrent Coffee are the same owners of Night Swim Coffee and the same owners of Summit Coffee? They're actually a large franchise. Have you visited their new location in this place? But that's something that I'm comfortable with. So there's always something to find in individuals that will kind of ease your tension along with their tension. And yes, don't get me wrong, I've gone an extra mile for things. When I was in college, I used to create introductions and actually build relationships for my friends. But when you're in college, it's usually the first thing is, I like that guy, he's really cute. So me being the extrovert, my friends would use me to make a connection. I said, give me your sweater. I did that once. I said, give me your sweater. We're sitting on the other side of his booth. And she said, oh, okay, great, I'll give you my sweater. I threw the sweater on the other side. I said, now go get your sweater. And she said, you're crazy. And I said, do you want that sweater back? And she said, but I don't want to go over there. And I said, go get your sweater or I will. And so a lot of times I would have to go over and be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry I dropped this sweater. And then I would go over there and say, oh, this isn't my sweater. Whose sweater is this? And I would invite her to come over because I was not interested in this man. I said, this is your thing. I'm just merely keeping a conversation. So it would bring her in front of him, but by then he's laughing because he's covered in the sweater. So he might be like, you knocked my glasses off. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm kind of clumsy sometimes. But anyway, did you want your sweater back? This is my friend. And then I can step out of the interaction. So I've known to be creative for things, but not to say that nobody else has to be that creative. But it depends on what you want to get out of this interaction. Is this someone that you want to make a professional connection with? Or maybe they're wearing something that you know a lot about and you can show yourself as an expert in it? Or is this something that you want to build a friendship on? I know that I've been the person to exchange merely just emails with someone and then follow up with a, hey, I saw on your calendar, or I want to know when you have 15 minutes to talk about something. I did that just recently with a representative from a large construction company. Every time I see, he does an estimating class time and time again. And I always see it virtually and I've been in person. And every time I see him, I'm like, how do I get this knowledge? It's like, oh, do I talk to him? He doesn't have time for me. I said, but I want to talk to him about the process he's going over, but also about the company that just got a contract with Mecklenburg County. So I said, what do I do? And I shot my shot via LinkedIn. And I said, he's not a person for LinkedIn. I just knew it. I felt it. And it took him 5 days to answer my message. I was like, I blew it. There's a random LinkedIn message sitting there. They're like, hey, what does your time look like? And he's never going to get back on LinkedIn. And lo and behold, 2 days after the 5 days I waited, which I said, I'm just going to move on. There's someone else in this company that I could talk to. He messaged me. He said, hey, you want to meet at the Salty Donut for coffee? I said, yes, before. I said, I don't know where that is. Is that a new place? I can't have this. But I said, I will go there and pretend to eat a donut. And we met up there and we had a wonderful conversation where he told me about opportunities within the company, but he shared with me a lot of their values and missions for the company. And I was able to bond over the fact that, you know, I didn't realize this company had so many values and beliefs that resonate with me. I understand you guys now. I look forward to working with you on the contract you just got. And he shared opportunities about how they're trying to get a contract with the city. The city gave him a contract, the airport, and he shared it with me. He said, look, we did it. And I said, I'm so glad. But then I said, crap, he messaged me to tell me he got the contract with the city. And I love construction. And I'll tell you guys, I'm a fangirl for it. So I love to talk to contractors and see the level of expertise they have on their teams. But contracting and construction kind of made me who I am today. So I always like to give back and build relationships with new members or existing members. So I hope you take something from this for everyone, and I can always do another speech on this, share other random stories, hopefully not romantically, but let me know if you're interested in someone. I will do the same thing again. I'm much more confident now and not 20 years old anymore. Thank you.
Let's give Lorena another round of applause for that. Next, we will have the evaluator of Lorena's speech, which is Mr. James Williams.
Oh, wow, that came around quickly. I thought I could at least catch my breath first, so, all right, let's jump into it. So I loved the speech mainly because it was helpful to me. So I have been to events and places saying that I'm going here to network. And then I go in there and keep my mouth shut. Or trying to figure out how do I approach this person and just start up a conversation. And I am better with that today than I have been in the past, but I'm still not where I need to be. I have missed some opportunities because not knowing how to. So thank you for bringing forward a message that I think has value, like I said, for me and probably some others in this room. When you start, I said, the first thing that came to mind, and I said, okay, this is what I'm going to ask Lorena to work on, is when you first started talking, you were going 1,000 miles an hour. And you have a very fast pace to your speech anyway, but I noticed that as you got into your speech, it's past that introduction part and it seemed like you kind of settled into it. And yeah, your pace of speech was fast, but I mean, that's just your way of talking. So, I was able to follow, wasn't too fast for me to understand what you were saying. I think your fast pace keeps me from hearing any filler words that you might do because you get past. I think some of our times when we have those filler words that we use, there's like a pause or something. It's like it slows down for that. And you just, you just so far past it. So that is, I don't think anything that I've ever really been to count off for you is that. So very, very well delivered. And the only other thing that I guess is that, I don't know, your posture didn't seem, or your hands and everything didn't seem, real comfortable at times. And I don't know, maybe if you were behind the podium, maybe you'd have a more comfortable feel behind that. I know with me that I'm more comfortable behind the podium than standing in an open space. Outside of, that's about all that I have. I mean, like I said, great job. Keep those topics coming, keep on delivering them. And you're doing great. And, just those couple little pointers and you'll be set, and just continue setting an example for the rest of us and help us to use your example to deliver better speeches ourselves. So thank you.
Thank you, James, for that lovely words. Next, we will have the general evaluator, which I'm not sure who that is or who would be, but I can inspire someone. Let's see. Let's go with Mr. Larry.
Oh, so as general evaluator, there are two.
Well,
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Okay. General evaluator has two roles in each meeting. One role is already done. The first role is to introduce the speech evaluator, but we've already taken care of that. The next role is going to be to call, actually, it's not, give an overall evaluation of the meeting before I turn it back over to our Toastmasters, where we'll get times and related reports. So overall evaluation of the meeting. It's been a fantastic meeting. There's a lot of us today. Not online, in person, that really gives a different kind of energy. I think we have good energy when it's a small group, but the more the merrier in this kind of environment. The second thing I'd like to say is that the meeting started on time. I walked in here every 2 minutes after and you guys are already going. That's a good thing. We want to have meetings that start on time and end on time. Two more observations, and this is a timing thing. So here's the thing about Toastmasters and communication. There's a reason why there's a time gate on table topics, a time gate on evaluation, a time gate on your speeches. Because effective evaluations or effective communication only really happens in a certain time box. If it's too short, it's abrupt. If it's too long, people tune me out. My observation here is I went over, Larry went over. I went to find out, but I went over, I need to adjust myself on that. Larry, you went over, we'll have to adjust that so that we can keep the audience engaged. The last and final observation is there were several uses, and I'm sure that's in the Canary report, of interesting word of the day, judicious. Not necessarily something that you're going to work into conversation every day at any point in time, but that is part of the art of Toastmasters in this environment for practice, is that we can try things here. You're safe. You can throw judicious or any other word into our vocabulary mix for the day. Even if you use it wrong, I guarantee you're going to learn how to use it right afterwards, not because of anything punitive, but this is how the conversation flow happens. You will hear words, you will use words that other people don't understand, or that they use words that you don't understand, but it's an opportunity for education. But at that fantastic meeting, I'm looking forward to more of these, seeing all of you guys, and bring your friends, keep bringing your friends to the next meeting. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Larry. Next, we will have Nick with the time report.
Hello, fellow Toastmasters. Have the time report ready here. We had Eric, Mr. Eric here to my right go first with the table topic, and he came in at 1 minute and 54 seconds. So that's a really good job there, Eric. We had Dana Rice next, and she was in at 2 minutes and 50 seconds. We had Larry, Mr. Larry was next at 2 minutes, 57 seconds. Over, yeah. And Bhavana, okay. Bhavana was next at 1 minute and 32 seconds. Good job. We had Angelica at 51 seconds and Canada at 1 minute and 6 seconds. Yes. Good job, guys. And then for Lorena's speech, 8 minutes and 22 seconds. I know that the whole time you're looking at Dana, and I'm like, maybe I should hand it over to her. Right. But you did look at me when I said 8 minutes. You did. Good job, though. I enjoyed it. Yes.
All right, thank you, Nick. Next, we will have Ms. Dana Rice with the and grammarian report.
Okay. Hello again, fellow Toastmasters. Okay, so I'll go in order as well, starting with the table topics. Eric, one of my kindred spirits are saying, it's okay. I counted 14 instances of and 6 uhs, and in there. Oh, I'm getting a low battery. Speed up. Myself, and I asked Angelica to count for me. Yeah, I've got 3 ums and 4 knows. So I'm actually kind of improving. But Eric did say the word of the day. Eric said the word of the day. Larry, who said the word of the day twice during his table topic. I counted 5 uhs, 4 ums, and a couple of knows. Bhavana, who said the word of the day. Good job on that. I counted 3 ums and 3 uhs. Okay. Angelica, I counted 10 times. So, Kahanda, I only counted once. Good job, good job. So that was for table topics. The speech, Lorena, and I think I've told you this before, your filler word of choice is so. I've counted that 10 times, and I caught an it's like once. You said it's like sometime in there. Yeah. So, but overall, everyone did very good. We had 4 not counting Larry's evaluation, we had 4 instances of the word judicious today. So good job, everyone.
Thank you, Dana, for that lovely time report. So it is 12:54 and the meeting's supposed to end at 1:03. So I think we did good on time. And Miss Valencia Tim said I have an announcement.
Disagree.
So, as some of you may know and some of you may not know, this will be my last in-person meeting with the City of Charlotte Toastmasters Club. I have accepted another position with another company, so I will be going there. So if y'all feel free to invite me still, you can send it to my personal email address and I will join. But other than that, it's been great working with everyone and being in Toastmasters with everyone. This would not be the last time you see me. Hopefully I will get the invites. But other than that, I want to say thank you for the opportunity and thank you for the kind workmanship that all of you have shown me and the push to get out in front of everyone. As you can see, I am the Toastmaster. As a like I said, the going away gift. But other than that, I want to say thank you to everyone and it was nice working with you all.
Thank you.
So with that being said, and if there's nothing else that we need to take care of, I don't know if we have any club business or anything that we need to take care of. Well, if there's no club business, I would say we could call this meeting to an adjournment.
Word of choice is so as well.
2 extra ums for you, Dana, because I can't count 2.
That's all. That was good.
Gregory, I was going to.
Yeah, and